Welcome back for another video. I'm Ehabad, a free-to-play endgame player in Raid Shadow Legends. In this video we'll be continuing our budget faction wars series, and I would say that this is probably our most budget clear to date. I actually think I could do this without a single level 60, which is not something I'd ever even thought to try previously, but I think once you've seen this clear, you'll agree that this would be doable with the level 50 Ugo in place of the level 60. So what are the main considerations for Ogryn Tribes 21? Well, we have the same boss that we saw in Dark Elves, so it's a boss that relies on us being able to outsustain the damage coming back to us in terms of fears and HP burns. We could therefore either build high resistance champions to mitigate some of these debuffs being applied to us. We could use block debuffs, which is why someone like Maneater is so phenomenally good for this faction crypt. Or we could use healers and cleansers. And there are actually a few options in that regard within this faction. We have Grush, who provides excellent healing and sustain, and we get him for free. We have Ugo, who has a nice single debuff, cleanse, and heal on the A3. We also have Gear Grinder, who has a team heal and a revive. And there's an additional one who doesn't usually get much game time, is actually Grunch Killjoy. Whilst using a huge number of epic skill tomes to rank up the skills, actually provides a very interesting cleanse that replaces debuffs with continuous heals. Could be used to phenomenal effect in this crypt and also in Nether Spider. So in this particular team composition, we're going to rely on Grush and Ugo to be bringing us the sustain to see us through. In terms of the other champions we're bringing, we've got Bellower and Shatterbones, primarily there to aid in the wave control aspect. So Shatterbones has a nice TM depletion on his A2, and Bellower is in a stun set with all AoE abilities. I'm actually running Grush also in a stun set, as he has 2 AoE abilities and will help ensure that we control the waves throughout. We then have an unusual champion that I've not used anywhere else, in Old Gruckus, who will help us against the boss. Specifically, he has a AoE decrease attack and a single target decrease speed. So the combination of these will help us manage the boss much more easily. Right then, let's jump into the run and see how it goes. Take it off auto. Try and decrease some attacks. Drop the turn meter. Try and get some decreased speeds out. Go for an AoE hit, hope for some stuns. The main danger there is the lower. Give us a little TM boost. For another AoE hit. Oh, that's quite a nice animation there. Never actually used this champion before, so interesting to see. Try and get some stuns out with Bellower. We've got like 3 stuns across the board now. For another AoE from Ugo. Just A1 the Banshee on the right. Go for another A1. Don't need to heal yet. Again, go for the AoE attack. I will save my TM drop. Try and get some stuns out. Go for the AoE here. Try and decrease the TM of the allure. Go for an A1 lockout again. Keep A1ing this guy right here. Trying to save my abilities for wave 2. Hopefully we'll kill Allure before she gets a turn. And we'll just cycle back to have our abilities for wave 2. Wave 2, we've got a few different threats here. We've got the Paragon Cheese, Mr. Cheese Man. Otherwise, Hexia does quite a lot of damage. Not particularly fussed about Nazana or Hexweaver, but the two champions on the left here do the most damage. Try and decrease attack across the board, decrease the TM, go for some lockouts if we can, or stuns. Again, try and get some stuns. Not much luck there, we've got 0 stuns. Try and get decreased speed there, decrease their speed across the board, try and get some lockouts, there we go, 4 stuns and 3 block cooldown skills. Excellent. So now we're quite nicely controlling this fight, at which point I'm going to focus on Nazana being the only champion who is not currently controlled. And we've got the stun out there. Get the AoE hit from Ugo, who is our only level 60. So fairly important to us here in terms of bringing some damage. Now we'll just keep attacking. We'll go for the AoE again. Get that decreased attack. We'll again drop TM across the board. We'll again go for some lockouts with the A1, go for some more stuns. Now we're really looking at this Hexweaver over here. It's the only champion not controlled. That AoE heal reduction there doing its job. So even though she got the heal off, didn't do anything. I'm pretty sure I'm going to cycle back in time, so I was comfortable using it just to get some damage. But I'm going to be mostly saving now abilities for the boss. We've got stuns across the board. So now we're just A1ing. And we'll just keep A1ing until we cycle back. The beauty of this particular Faction War 21 is the waves themselves are very easy. So it's really down to, can you gear for the boss? Now obviously, you know, there's some great void epics in this faction. Maneater is phenomenal for this boss with the block debuffs and decreased attack on the A1 and TM Steel, all fantastic abilities to control the boss. Bit worried about Soul Reap there, but at least went for Ugo, being the only weak affinity. At this point it should be okay. Try and get some control. Try and get this Hexia killed. We got so little damage. And then obviously the other good void epic is Ogryn. Our Shatterbones nearly died here. Let's go for a decreased speed. We need to get a bit of a heal. So the only problem here is that my team is extremely squishy. We might struggle a bit against the boss, as I don't think we don't have any block debuffs. We probably don't have enough healing, but that decreased attack will help a lot. Now we'll drop the TM across the board. Hopefully we can get some stuns out. We're gonna have to get the heals going straight away. So see, this is my concern, is all these HP burns. So I've tried to build a couple of champions with resistance, so we don't take too many. But it's a problem. So I use the other champions to try and attack the side adds, at least with the block buffs. They can't buff the boss. And then generally with the champions that have a bit more resistance, they can go after the main boss. That's the current thinking. So Ugo has enough resistance. Bellower only has an AoE anyway. Go for TM depletion again. Let's try and decrease some speed. Get some heals going. It's not quick, but so far it's going okay. Get the block buffs out again. Give us a little TM boost. Give us a heal. A bit of a mini cleanse there. Who has not got decreased speed? You. Nice to get some stuns, that helps a bit. With Ugo, hit the boss. Managed to get the block damage out this time, which is a bit annoying. We didn't have the block buffs out. Try and go for decreased speed again. I'm going to hold off using his A2 because I want the boss to take a turn. Get the decreased attack out again, that will help us sustain. A1. With Ugo I'll hit the boss. This time I can do the TM depletion. Go for the boss, got leech out this time. Get some heals going again. Try and get the stuns on the side adds. I'm going to hold my heal for now. Just attack the boss, and then with Shatterbones just go for the ad. Try and drop some TM. I will make sure we get the block buffs out first. Stop them doing any of that. Get the war cry. We've got True Fear. So just A1, A1. And just A1 a side ad. Get another leech out. This time I will heal and give myself a little mini cleanse. It's not quick, that's for sure, but we're managing the fight. We've got about a third of the boss's life down, and the side adds are nearly killed. at which point we'll be in a better position to focus on the boss. We'll drop TM again. Make sure the block buffs are out. Stop these side adds doing anything. With one down, we'll get the heals out again. And both side adds are down. Try and get the decreased speed. We got the TM drop, but we didn't get the decreased speed. So once we get bound to Bellower, we'll try and get decreased speed out from him. We got it this time. So we got the decreased attack, we got the decreased speed. We'll hold back our heal and semi-cleanse. We can put decreased speed and get our TM fill. We don't have True Fear here, so we can get the decreased attack going. Unfortunately we missed it. We will cleanse here. Got decreased attack this time, we got True Fear, so I'll just A1. Drop the TM. A1. Here we will get the decreased defense out. A1 there. A1 again. A1 with Shatterbones. Try and get that decreased speed out again, keep it up as much as possible, get the heals going. To be honest, at this point we probably could auto it, and I'm going to give it a go just to speed things up a bit. It should be safe to auto. Get the decreased attack out, block buffs, decreased defense. I mean, there's no more buffs now that the ads are down anyway, so that's not really that important. So you can see we kind of have 3 champions that are resisting quite a lot, which is helping. It means we're not taking we haven't got 5 HP burns up against us, in which case it would be even more difficult to sustain through it. I'm actually going to take it off auto as Shatterbones is getting quite low, and I'm concerned that the AI will not do things sensibly. And that would be quite disappointing given we're 15 minutes in if we suddenly lost it at this point by being impatient. So we'll get a heal there from Ugo. And at this point we're just going to have to A1. Get the decreased defense. A1. Try and get that drop speed again. Get the heal. No, we're going to have to A1. We need to hold back that heal in case we missed it. Get the hail. Make sure we've got a little bit of time before the boss takes another turn. And in that time, we can get some heals going. We'll boost our own turn meter. A1, A1. Try and get the decreased attack. Try and get the decreased attack again. Was so close. That bit of time on auto was an absolute disaster. Ugo there, good heal. Shatterbones back to a relatively healthy point. We've got all the main debuffs that we want other than decreased attack, and that's why we're taking quite a bit more damage than we would otherwise. So at least try and get the small decreased attack, that will help a bit. Drop the speed again. Hail to get a bit more time, so we should be able to cycle a bit further back to give us the breathing room we need. Got that decrease attack ability in 1 turn. We can get the heals going. So you can see if we're doing it manually, we're able to control the fight and get it done. But you saw the brief moment we got a bit cocky, we tried to get it going on auto, and it almost cost us 15 to 20 minutes of our lives. Oh, what a waste that would have been. At this point I will heal. Not too much longer now, 1 more of these AoEs. Just A1, drop the defense, try and drop the speed. Just A1 because we have True Fear, just A1 because we have True Fear again. Drop the turn meter from Shatterbones, and Ugo finishes it off. Oh, that was a long fight, but we got it done. 18 minutes in, we had 1 level 60 and 4 level 50s. Well, 4 5-stars. Grickus is actually only a level 40 at the moment. The key champions, Ugo, Grush for sure, did a lot of work. Good damage, good healing, similar to Ugo. Shatterbones was actually pretty impactful with the TM drop on the A2. And between Grush and Gruckus, we were getting a good amount of AoE decrease attack, which meant that we weren't taking as much damage through the waves and against the boss. And then obviously had Bellower and Grush in stun sets to give me the crowd control needed to get through the run. Alright, if we look at Ugo, in a bit of a kind of hybrid build, I'm kind of using an Hydra at the moment. Not really enough resistance for Hydra, but it's a build that kind of works everywhere to a reasonable degree, but isn't brilliant anywhere, to be honest. But for this particular faction crypt, I'd say if you could get around 300 resistance and around 220 accuracy, that would be ideal. And then good HP pool with a decent defense to kind of give you a good effective HP pool. And then if you can get a reasonably fast, that is also good. The skills are done. Fantastic champion, well worth booking. And then in terms of masteries, again, as you've seen a few times, I've kind of done the classic kind of clan boss style masteries, and then I haven't decided what secondary and tertiary trees to do. In retrospect, since Hydra doesn't scale that well with Warmaster, I probably will at some point redo these masteries. I don't think this is optimum for her at all. But I don't know what path I want to take, so that's what we have for now. In terms of Shatterbones, I tried to build him with enough resistance to be resisting a reasonable amount of the boss's things. You saw down at 280 we were picking up some debuffs. If you could get over 300 it would be more consistent. But in terms of resistance aura leads faction crypts, there aren't that many in Ogryn Tribes. Skull Crusher is actually one that does on the epic side, and Guptuk on the legendary side also has a resistance aura lead. Fantastic champions against this boss if you have either of them purely from the resistance lead perspective. Beyond that, I tried to get some survivability. Shatterbones at level 50 is incredibly squishy. You can see these base stats are truly atrocious. So even getting these stats wasn't that easy. Beyond that, the skills are done, but there are no masteries. I also put in a immortal set just to give Shatterbones that little top-up heal. I would probably ideally do 2 sets of immortal, or maybe regen, or just rank him up to 60. And then it won't be so difficult. Grush I have in a stun set. The skills are done. In terms of masteries, nothing's done. And then in terms of stats, A decent effective HP pool here, slightly higher defense because Grush's damage does scale off defense, and he actually has 2 AoEs with OK multipliers. So, a very good candidate to rank to 60 and be kind of a carry for this faction from a sort of sustained support, damage control via a stun set perspective. He won't do it alone. He's not like Syl within Barbarians, who pretty much can solo that entire faction. But Grush can really help carry this faction. Enough accuracy to land his debuffs. Ideally, would have more resistance if you were going for a full resistance build across the team. But with so many level 50s without having the banner and the extra base stats, it was a challenge for me to build many of them in resistance without stripping off my best gear of other champions. Bellower in a stun set again, actually even missing an amulet. Slightly low on the accuracy. Didn't seem to hurt me too much in the run. I was mostly using him for the stun set anyway. But yeah, ideally I should have actually put an amulet back on him with accuracy as a substat, and that would have got my accuracy to the levels that I wanted. You can see all the gear's not even fully rolled up. Skills are done, no masteries. Bello is another candidate for a champion that could easily be taken to 6-star and would be, viable in many different areas of the game, including campaign farming, general kind of CC champion with a stun set. He's got 3 AoE abilities, and he's got versions of a small version of decreased speed and small version of decreased attack and decreased defense. So he actually brings a lot of utility if you don't have the epics to fill each of those roles. And then Old Gruckus, I actually leveled up to 5-star today because I wanted to do a budget guide for Ogryn Tribes, and I thought he had quite an interesting skill set. I haven't booked him, so obviously it would be more consistent if he were booked, particularly this big decrease attack on an AoE basis is 100% at a 3-turn cooldown once booked, so it's decent ability. Quite liked this A2, mostly because we have this once booked 100% chance to put decreased speed, which is good for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. I do wish that this TM drop was slightly more impactful. I mean, it's a bit disappointing that even when booked, it only gets to 80% chance to decrease, which seems ridiculous. It's only a 30% depletion. That should just be 100%. I mean, this is it's not really an epic ability in truth when you've got such a relatively small TM drop that's not even 100%. I don't know why Plarium do this, to be honest, but it is what it is. And then we've got this triple hit A1 with Leech. Again, bit disappointing on the percentage chance of placing it, but once you have a triple hitter, if you did have Sniper on this, it would be reasonably consistent, and it is nice to top up the overall sustain of the team through it. And with that in mind, I built the champion to have enough resistance to mitigate the boss's debuffs as much as possible. Okay effective HP pool, given that he's only level 40, and then enough speed and enough accuracy to be viable. And that is that. I hope this has been helpful. I hope you got what you need to be able to beat this faction. Good luck clearing it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.